Good evening. All right. What year is it? Oh, good. It's 2000. Phantom Menace on VHS. Jar Jar Binks, y'all. Phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000. Yeah. Sing it with me. Let me hear you. Phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000, yeah. All right. Not bad. Give it up for your host, Mark Hornback, the well-Hungarian. All right. Phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000, yeah. I'm gonna see you at the fun. What? Wash your jeans, bring your notebook, bring your jokes. We got a microphone at the phone simulation, phone simulation, phone simulation. 2000. Thank you so much. You're too kind. Is this thing off? Oh, you're laughing at me. Still counts. Phone simulation, yeah. Phone simulation 2000.
Yeah.
Yay!
Welcome to Fun Simulation 2000. Holy crap. Well, Ron Irving's here. Look at him. He's in the club.
Hey, everybody.
Ron is back. He was a regular at Fun Simulation for many years in Chicago. Probably the whole time he lived in Chicago. Not too many other regulars except John McCombs, who's not really John McCombs, but Andrew Shanklin. He changed his name. There we go. We're not stealing valor from people. This is gonna be fun, everybody. We have a great list. I like 99% of the people going up tonight. You could all figure out who I don't like. It's Ron. It's Ron, guys. It's Ron. I just have to be nice because he's such a fan of the room that I'm just kidding. I'm just mad that Ron left us to go be famous. He's already famous, guys. It's amazing. He's starring in Hitman 4.
Yes.
The video game and the movie.
It's coming straight to Dollar Tree this November.
Straight to Dollar Tree. And HBO minus and Disney minus. HBO minimum and Disney minus. That's what we're doing here. No, Jeff Bezos is going to give you. Oh, someone called you powder. Oh, there we go.
Oh, well, there we go. Yeah.
There we go. Now it's getting racist.
It's already started.
I think just Ron's presence just makes racism happen one way or another. People just Ron. There's like you have to people just start on any side of the racial spectrum. People get racist around Ron. It's just strange. That's how it goes. Ron, good to see you, Ron. Glad New York's doing well. I'm sure you'll talk about that later. I don't want to go into your potential material. Stick around to the end. We have the fastest minute in comedy. If you haven't been here, I think everyone's been here. There might be a new face or two. If you haven't been here, you get to do 1 minute at the end, which is very wild. It's fast paced. It's very stupid. A lot of my dog is eating cat food right now. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, he got it. He got some cat food. He got to it. Sorry
nice.
About that. There we go. This is very professional. Someone's looking for drugs from Ron. So now we're doing drug dealing in this Zoom. Like this is exactly why Zoom comedy needs to be shut down. It should be illegal. It should not be happening anymore because we should all be vaccinated by now. I'm donating my vaccine to my dog just because he's the one that gets all the vaccines first in this family. Keep giving him that rabies shot every year. Give him the rabies shot. Double up on it. I don't care. Man, I did an interview this week. I did a job interview, just seeing what's out there, and I joined the video chat with the Fun Simulation 2000 email address. How I joined. I joined probably the most important job interview of my life at one of the biggest and best companies you could possibly work for. And I joined and saw it was Fun Simulation 2000, saw the other guy and he saw my face and I exited the chat immediately. And then I rejoined with my personal email and he asked, what was that simulation thing 2000 you joined with? And I explained, that's an open mic I host every Sunday night. Yeah, and I've been doing it in person and now online for probably almost 7 years now. And then he goes, "Oh, so that's why you have public speaking experience on your resume." And I said, "Yeah," and sometimes I even tell jokes. Sometimes I do. So we got through the interview. And at the end, like the interview was over and I forgot that it happened. It was an hour later. Then he goes, "Okay, so what's your closer?" And I was like, "My what?" And he's like, "Your closer, like what's your closing joke?" And any joke, most of my jokes, 99% of them are clean. All my jokes are clean pretty much. And I've even done a clean comedy show and a comedy contest. So all my stuff is clean, but I told them they were all too dirty. I told them they're all too raunchy. They're way too inappropriate, man. I'm like on the edge. I'm gonna get banned. You'll never hire me if you hear these. And he did try to egg it on. He's like, "No, man, it's cool. It's cool. Like we're cool. Like we can do this." And I was like, "No." And then he told me a Whitney Houston joke. That's what he did his closer. He told me a Whitney Houston joke. Very strange interview. I don't know if I'm getting that job or not. I should have just leaned in hard with just some stolen material that's dirty. That's the only way I could do dirty material. Oh, guys. So yeah, what was it? What's the guy? Ted Cruz. He hosted SNL or something last week. Is that what happened? No, he's going to. In the next 3 years he's gonna fucking host SNL. For a fact he's going to. I want to see that so bad. I want to see it so bad, because Colin Jost will be friends with him and they'll act like they're making fun of each other and they're really not. No, Ted Cruz. Yeah, he bailed on Texas in the middle of a snowstorm and then blamed his family on it. He was put in a situation where he could either choose to be a bad senator of Texas or a bad dad to his daughters, and somehow he managed to be both. He managed to be both. It was a binary choice, and he did both in 2 days. He did both. It's amazing. We're gonna get this started. Everyone's getting 4 minutes. I'll let you at 3. I'll send you a message. We're gonna start this out. I believe I remember without checking my list who is first. I think it's Patty Mansbach.
Hi. What we were talking about stolen valor. Let me tell you what the real stolen valor is. You talk to a guy and he's really cute and you think he's Jewish, and then at the end he's like, "Oh, I'm Italian." I'm like, "God fucking damn it." That's the real stolen valor we have right now. I remember when Donald Trump was running for election the first time, my stepmom said that he had some good ideas. And I was like, "Yikes, Dad, why did you marry that woman?" And my dad said, "Oh, don't worry. She doesn't know what she's talking about because she's a woman." So that's, yep. I don't know. My dad is also convinced every show on HGTV is called The Gay Brothers. They're vaccinating that. That is the future. That's what we're vaccinating. I don't know about that. How are you doing? I had half a beer and I am feeling it. Yeah, real crazy. You say lightweight. I say lit weight. All right, we're gonna have fun. When we killed Osama bin Laden, like I felt weird. Like, should we be celebrating the death of somebody? That was weird. But when Rush Limbaugh died during Black History Month, oh my gosh, let me just tell you, the Lord is abundant in his blessings. That was so much. Do it again. Well, don't bring it back, but like that was so much fun. Mm-hmm. I was talking to my mom about it, and she said he was married 4 times and never had any kids. That guy is shooting blanks. And I was like, "Mom, I don't know. You should not know what those words mean. Why don't tell me this?" I don't know. Let me just, hey, Mark, how's your job search going? You want to help me with my resume? Let's just, workshop our resumes together. This is not comedy anymore. My latest iteration, I helped facilitate financial literacy courses for local middle schools. No, I didn't. I told them to stop spending their allowance. It doesn't mean anything. if I had to do a real resume, it would just be like, got way too invested in that Gorilla Glue Girl saga, got way too into it. That they got it off finally. But I'm saying, I was at Walmart the other day and I saw that Gorilla Glue makes like some tape, and I realized I have a bunch of blackheads on my nose, and I thought like, oh, maybe I can just use that to rip them off, and then finally I'll just rip my face off, and that is how I will get my face transplant. I don't know. Why am I even looking for a job? This is bullshit. Joe Biden was supposed to make us communists by now. There are some broken promises, okay? But I think my favorite job I ever had is when I was in the Peace Corps. And one time I was in the station wagon, I was going across like West Africa, and this guy, he put his goat on the roof, and then it started peeing all down the open window and down my arm. I know, it was disgusting. I know my first golden shower was the bestiality edition. It was wild. Yeah, you thought I was saving the world. I was just living my fetish. I don't actually think I'm allowed to have a fetish because I'm way too uptight. But if I did, it would be faking orgasms. Oh my God. Once this celibacy virus is done, I'm going to fake so many orgasms. Let me tell you, I do it. Like, I promise, if you fake an orgasm, you will never have a real one ever again. Because I feel so powerful and so in control. And like, they look at you really smug, but secretly, I know they're a goddamn idiot. Oh, I love it so much. How was your Valentine's Day, everybody? Nice and great. I was thinking about my first crush. I remember in second grade, I had this giant crush on this boy named Andy, and I loved him so much, and I would write in my diary about him, and he never liked me back, and it was my first experience with unrequited love, first of many. But as I grew up, I realized it doesn't matter because he's dead now, so it all worked out in the end. Just, yeah, maybe he had a congenital heart defect, or maybe if I can't have him, nobody else can. All right, I don't have time for any more jokes, but thank you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Patty Mansbach. Woo, woo, woo. That was a dark story, but you know what? Yeah, people die. Whatever. People die. That's what happens, right?
Yeah, we lost like 500,000. What's one more, right?
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's. Did he die from COVID? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh man, I was gonna say it's even sadder when it's preventable, right? That's how. Our next comedian coming up. Please enjoy Andy from Patty's childhood. No, I'm not going to read it. The ghost of the kid. No, I'm going to reunite. I'm going to introduce everybody. Please welcome Gary Hughes.
I could be that person. Thanks, man. I don't fake orgasms, but I do fake happiness, though. I do fake happiness, not orgasms, but I do fake happiness. It's hard to fake orgasms when you're me. I don't know how to say anything. I'm a theater degree, but I don't know I need to know my super objective. I need to have like motives for that. Or anyway, don't listen to me. I'm a goofy guy. Like, it's Sunday and I come home every Sunday, and I keep checking the mailbox, and I be like, yeah, no mail. And I'm not the smartest slave on the plantation, you know? All right. So let's talk about things. Cocaine. No, I'm not talking about cocaine. Let's talk about the NBA. NBA is I can't wait for like the All-Star games are pretty fun. If you watch that, they need to be very exciting because besides like bringing a celebrity to do an alley-oop for somebody, I'm waiting for them to just have a registered sex offender, just a registered sex offender, just throwing the alley-oop to LeBron. He comes on, everybody's like, boo. He's like, yeah, I'm used to it. And then he just throws the alley-oop. I think that'd be so cool. Or like, you just let him go, like do the first pitch at the baseball game, just a registered sex offender. You know, my girlfriend told me this material wouldn't go over well, but I was like, babe, what do you know? You're a woman, right, Patty? Anyway, all right, no one likes registered sex offenders. Hey, bro, it's all good. Let's do it. I have more material about that, but obviously you're not the crowd. I should have a suggestion box, and you tell me what you want me to talk about, and then I go your route because I'm here to please people. You know what I mean? I'm very here to please people. I did jury duty one time in San Francisco, and if you in what the fuck is that called? In the courthouse, they have one of those like breastfeeding booths, but I was hella tired from work because I work at a coffee shop, so I took a nap in the breastfeeding booth. Boy, were those ladies mad when I got out. It was a long line. I was like, yo, all these breastfeeders here. and I had to like I had to spit some like seahorse line or something like, "Yo, men can have babies too. Seahorses do it." I just walked away. Patty was talking about death. I've experienced a lot of death in my life. My cousin passed away when he was young. Dude, funny thing about his funeral, nobody thought you ever hear that sentence, but the funny thing about his funeral is that the casket was closed. His friend had all this airbrush material, all these clothes, so they just started putting it on top of his casket, all this airbrush stuff, like his pants, shirts, shoes. And then my mom went up there and she's like, "Gary, you still wear extra large?" And she brought me an extra large shirt. It turned into a big flea market. I don't know if you know Black people in clothes, but we just started turning into a big flea market. Interesting death stuff. I went to my grandmother's funeral on my father's side, which is not my close grandmother. And I hear her grandkids. You ever been to a funeral? Your grandkids say something about you. It's like, "Hey, I remember when grandmother took us to Disneyland for the first time. We had a good time. It was great." But they were like, "Yo, I remember I was smoking, and then my grandmother reached over and took the blunt from me. I was like, 'Grandma,' and then she just smoked the whole blunt in front of me." And I was like, "All right, that's the memories of your grandmother." I don't know why I'm starting talking about death. Anyway, that's it, man. Hey, this is my last privilege to get this top 5 spot. Thanks, Mark. I appreciate it, bro.
Gary. One more time for Gary. Yeah, I promised him. Gary gets a bad luck of the draw. I feel like for like 2 or 3 months he was getting like bottom 5 spots. So for Black History Month, I promised him to get a top 5 spot every week. And so, but now you'll have to get it randomly. That's how it is. The other 11 months. Sorry, man. No, we're gonna go. Our next comic coming up. Holy cow! Haven't seen him in a while. Please welcome Ron Irvin.
Hey, hi everybody. Hope we're all doing well. Yeah, it's been a minute since I've been here. So this is great. Good to see you guys. Somebody said with all sincerity to me the other day, "I can't tell if you're handsome or not." Like completely serious. And first off, I guess fair. I do kind of look like Charlie Brown grew up to make libertarian YouTube videos. So there's that. I kind of like it. I got like I call it a Blue Lives Matter Voldemort vibe going on. Or if like Caillou grew up to be a cop. All right, that's fine. That's somehow the most and least fucked up thing that you can say to a person. So because you're basically saying like, "Yeah, your face fucks my brain up, but in a horny way." So I don't know how to interpret that. And I'll be honest, I kind of get it because like I have days that I feel good about myself, and I think I'm a like pretty attractive, good-looking guy. But then I will say like if I walk past a mirror and it's like just far enough away, I'm always like, "Oh fuck, that egg's got cancer." Oh, it's just me. Hitman 4 coming straight to Family Dollar this November. I did. So I just moved out here to New York City. I just moved to my own little studio here in Harlem. It's very small. And I showed them to it and they were like, "Wow, that's a closet." I'm like, "No, closets usually have a place you can hang your clothes up in." So that's nice. But I really like it here. I love Harlem. It's great. And I understand when people don't like living in big cities, but I feel like the way I view it is like there's prices that you pay to live somewhere interesting, right? And that's just it. You weigh whether it's worth it or not. And for me, yes, I would rather open my front door to a screaming homeless person than open my front door to Iowa. So there, that's fine. Like I can walk past the homeless person. I can only walk deeper into Iowa, and that doesn't sound appealing at all, right? Yeah. It was great. I haven't had any, you know what? It's something weird out here. I had a homeless person come up and scream a poem at me the other day. And so I told that to somebody and they're like, "How did you know he was homeless?" And I was like, "I just told you he's a poet." But he came up and like literally screamed a poem at me. And I was like, "Okay, is he going to ask for $1 after this?" And then he didn't. He just walked away. And I think I might have met the last true artist in New York City. That or a guy that doesn't know that open mics exist and he's very irate about it. It's fun. I heard you hear just like so much random shit walking down the street in New York. Like I was just walking outside to get a slice of pizza and I just hear from across the street somebody on the phone being like, "I love you. Please stop doing drugs." And I think you think it's like, oh wow, that's really sad. That's probably somebody like, going through something, like a really terrible situation. But I was like really high, so I chose to interpret it. I was like, oh my God, he's calling Jimi Hendrix in the past. He's gonna save him. What else are we doing here? Did anybody see that Joker movie? It only made $1 billion, right? So I actually took a first date to that movie when it came out, and there was no second date. I don't have to tell you guys. You can figure that out for yourself. But there's like a plot point where he has a bad set at a mic and he kind of spirals out of control. It's very relatable. But I will say this: it was a bad set. He did poorly. But he at no time during that set looked down at a notebook and went, "All right, what else do I want to talk about?" I've seen her. All right, my name is Ron Irvin. My special's on Pornhub. Give it up for your host.
Yeah, Ron. Thank you, Ron Irvin. Good to see you. Thanks for checking in from New York and thinking all of us little people still stuck in these small towns throughout America. Just kidding. There's other people from New York on this call too. I have a feeling. I'm not sure. Actually. Okay, from now on, everybody put next to your name where you are, your complete address, so I can introduce you, and people could send fan mail if they want. That's what we're gonna do from now on. Our next meeting coming up. Please welcome Sophia. Sorry, I biffed your name on the first part of your name, which is like the easy part. That's actually the easy.
Yeah, you messed up the easy part. Well, maybe get the hard part right.
Yeah, Sophia Smarandescu.
Yeah. Yes, you got my first name wrong, my last name correct. Nice job. Never been done before. Nice to be here. You guys are this is a nice cool group of people. Shalom to everybody. All right, guys, I'm gonna get my set. So I was just thinking about the last time I traveled, and because I've been bedridden for so long, and the last time I traveled, I went to Berlin, and when I was there, I actually inadvertently entered a sex flare and a nightclub thinking it was a bathroom. I'm not really sure why I thought it was a bathroom, because everyone waiting in line behind me was wearing nipple clamps. So, but this nightclub was huge. It was like 4 levels. It was like an IKEA. And there was a bouncer for the sex flare. And as soon as she saw me, she was like, no, not you. I was like, really? You don't think like a woman donning like a Patagonia rain jacket and hiking boots is going to contribute to this orgy? All right, you guys are not loving this. I'm just going to keep going. The legend was that this bouncer could see into your soul. She could see into your eyes, into your soul, and tell whether or not you could handle the orgy that was inside. I feel like she was right though. Like, I feel like if I was ever invited to an orgy, like I wouldn't know where to insert myself. You know, I'd just be like sitting in the corner, just like quietly eating nuts. All right, nice. So while I was in Berlin, my Airbnb host recommended another club, and this club apparently, I'm sorry, I'm like talking about this, like these horrible topics. This is just the last thing though. This club had a grate that you could pee into. You could either pee into it or get peed on. And when he told me that, like, it's just like this like shame sewer. And when he told me that, I was like, I'm good. I think I'm just gonna go to the Holocaust Museum. Seems like a better way to spend my time. Nice. I really love bombing virtually because I'm just gonna like sit in my living room and just like continue on with my night. I'm just going to get into like one more bit and then I'll pass it on to your next comic. But so I'm a Romanian gal here. Anybody else here Romanian? I like to ask that question because I'm addicted to deafening silence. So my dad has a very fun accent. Like I love the way my dad says certain words. Like the way my dad says ankle is the same way he says uncle. So I made up a game. It's called Ankle or Uncle. So I'm going to tell you something my dad's told me. You're going to guess I'm talking about his ankle or his uncle. All right. Are you guys? Okay, I'm just going to.
Oh, I really want to hear that.
Tell you anyway. Okay. I got from my uncle. Oh, my audio is cutting out. Can you guys hear me?
Now we can.
Now we can.
Yeah, like 20.
Frozen earlier.
Oh shit. Okay, what did you guys last hear?
The
Uncle?
game.
You Romanian.
Your dad
Okay,
was
so yeah,
dad's
I'm
accent.
Romanian. I was like, what the hell? Does everyone on this mic's a jerk? Okay, my dad says, like, the way my dad says ankle is the same way he says uncle. So it's hard for me to know what he's talking about because my dad has joint issues and a tumultuous relationship with his uncle. So I made up a game. It's called Ankle or Uncle. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. I recently plucked an ingrown hair from my uncle. Ankle or uncle?
Ankle.
Ankle.
Uncle
Ankle.
Paul.
Uncle.
No, it's Uncle Paul. Okay. Two more, you guys. Every time we drink whiskey, my uncle always gets so swollen. Ankle. Okay.
That's gotta be ankle.
Yep. Shout out. One last one. My uncle recently contracted hepatitis B, trapped me in his apartment, and will not let me live without brute force. Uncle Paul.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Paul.
Yeah, thank you, Sophia Smartendescu. I'm gonna get it right from now on. I'll never get your name wrong again.
Thank you.
Thanks for hanging in there and continuing where you left off. That's something we have to do with when we're dealing with virtual mics only. But you know what? I've hosted enough mics that I have seen the cable fall right out the back of the microphone and struggle to put it in for about 30 seconds. So it's not like this doesn't happen in person too. We're just recreating game day conditions. That's the whole point of this, right? Our next meeting coming up is the goalkeeper, Andre Madrano.
Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm super stoked to be back here. I was in Vermont skiing this weekend. I'm in an excellent mood, so don't fuck this up for me. I like English people for the most part, but I found they're a little bit tricky. Like they present themselves as these like really likable, educated, urbane, polished folk, but I've had two of them say to me, and I'm not gonna do the voice because that's racist, but I've had two of them say to me, "Would you like a biscuit?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, dog." And both of them like offered me a tray of Oreos and just like looked at me like they hadn't done anything wrong. And I was like, this is a threat. I don't like where this is going. I do not like emergency rooms for the obvious reasons, but also that question is just irritating to me when they're like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much does it hurt? Like 7 years of medical school, we're playing this game. Okay, how about a 2? And then they're like, 2? People here have real problems. You rolled your ankle, get the fuck out of here. Or you could be like, I don't know, maybe like a 9. They're like, 9? You rolled your ankle and it's a 9? I pulled a steak knife from a man's sternum 45 minutes ago. Take 2 Tylenol and get out of here. Basically, like any answer is just an excuse for a doctor to call you a pussy, and I don't like that at all. I've been watching a lot of content, as I'm sure everyone has. I love noir, and I've learned a lot of things. I've learned every country in the world has a thriving film industry and about 7 to 10 actors that are in everything they put out. But I've also learned like there's these idealized versions of places that I don't want to shatter. As much as I want to travel when this is over, I just want like my like Netflix version of a place to live on, because they make all of Scandinavia look like a killing field. Like everyone is either grieving, plotting revenge, or investigating a murder, and all the cops look like indie rockers with rich parents, but not in the cool way. But then I looked it up, and there's like 20 murders in all of Scandinavia a year. I'm like, how did these people like figure out the genre? It's like, well, probably like, oh, we're tall and pale. It's always dark. It's cold. We're pretty much there. We just have to like try really hard, and we'll be good at noir. And then I was like, oh, that's kind of like Zoom comics. Like when this is over, there's going to be people who have like a solid 15 minutes, and then they're going to do real shows and not know how to hold the mic, and lurk around the stage like a school shooter. But they're still going to have a following. So. I also watched some art crime documentaries. Art crime is the best kind of crime to watch a documentary about, because all of the victims look like they deserve it, and they're all rich. So you're like, fuck it, who cares? But also at the beginning, like they tell you why they were marks. Like I watched the one with the lady from Nordum or whatever. In the first scene, she was like, yeah, it was weird. This woman drove in from Long Island and had a Rothko in the back of her Honda Civic, but like she knew a lot about art, so I believed her. I'm like, oh, that's why you got robbed. That makes sense. I've noticed that actors and actresses have 2 very different views on accents. Like the first time I found out Damian Lewis was American, it blew my mind. And same thing with like Rebecca Hall and Ben Mendelsohn and all those people. And then there's like Salma Hayek and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like, it's your job to do this. Like Arnold Schwarzenegger has been American longer than I've been alive. And he's played American soldiers multiple times. And he's just like, well, whatever. That one wasn't great. That's fine. Do you guys know what lurking is? It's like chilling or hanging out, but with a splash of malice. I had a friend named Slayer. His real name was Matt, but he had 3 Slayer tattoos. And one time, he's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "Denver." And he's like, "Oh, dude, I just came back from Denver." And I was like, "Oh, cool. What were you doing there?" He's like, "Lurking." And before I could say anything, he was like, "Lurking on anything and everything." And he's since gotten a 4th Slayer tattoo, which kind of makes sense, I think. I'm gonna that's it for me, but I'm gonna drop a link in the comments. I have a show that I've been doing in Brooklyn for a few years, and we're doing it online now. If you guys want to check it out, it's on March 9th. It's gonna be really fun. We have a great lineup. So there we go.
Yeah, thank you, Andre Madrano. Look at that, Ron. People are still doing mics online, even in New York City. Wow.
I'm doing one right now, motherfucker.
Still gonna do it. No, thank you, Andre. No, that is weird. Like, it has to be intentional to keep doing an accent. Like, what other Austrians is he talking to? Like, what, like how is he keeping it on point?
Him and Christoph Waltz. That's it.
Yeah, there's got to be like 2. Like, that's all I know. Oh, we're gonna keep rolling, everybody. Our next comedian coming up, Olivia Witt.
Hello. Yes, coming at you straight from Madison, Wisconsin. Representing the state here tonight. Was home in Virginia. I'm originally from Virginia. Was just with my parents for like 2 months. Finally back here. Very excited. When I was home with my parents, there wasn't really much to do. It was a lot of just like sitting on the couch watching Sex and the City. And I know what you're thinking, Olivia, with your parents, that's a lot of sex. Well, honey, it's even more city, if you can believe it. We were watching Sex and the City 2. And that's Sex and the City, like number 2, not like Sex and also the City. It wasn't like, you know, they're sitting around thinking of the name for the movie being like, this movie's about sex, let's just call it Sex. And then some guy's like, well, wait, what about the city? And they're like, Christ, Kyle, you're right. We completely forgot about the city. How about Sex and the City too? Yeah, that works. But go catch Gordon. He already ran to the printers. Like it's number 2. And in this one, the girls go to Abu Dhabi and things get a little bit crazy. And by a little bit crazy, I mean a lot of bit racist. It's really just 4 white women running around the Middle East being very rude. And I'm sitting there watching this with my dad, and he goes, wow, this movie really makes women look bad. And I'm sort of like, really? All women? Like, these 4 fictional white women have to represent everyone from me to Malala? Like, I don't think that's fair. I mean, guys, you get 3 Jackass movies, and those are real men lighting real testicles on fire. I just don't think it's fair. On a more shallow note, a lot of people say their boobs are like sisters, but not twins. And I just want to say, whatever mine are, they are estranged. It's a real prey, not predator situation, if you know what I mean. It's a problem because if I ever try to take a nude photo, I have to use the panorama option on my phone, or else I'm like corralling them like toddlers. Like, come on, after this, we'll do a fun one. It's a real problem for me. If you ever want to see the picture of what, just like a visualization of what repressed sexuality looks like, might I suggest the March for Life youth rally. As a teen who grew up near DC, who went to Catholic school, I can confirm that it's just filled with horny Catholic preteens. There is nothing else. It's such a weird time to go to the March for Life when you're like 13, 14, 15. Because you go and you're like, maybe Travis and I will kiss under the aborted fetus poster. You know, sitting on the butt. Like, people got their first blowjobs underneath like pictures of Virgin Marys just holding fetuses. It's a real weird time for that to happen, I think. This time period sucks. I like very weird because before all of this happened, people used to ask me like, oh, you know, what generation would you want to live in right now? And I always thought anyone who said anything but this current time period was an idiot. Like, you want to be in this time period. But now, after being in this time period, I'm sort of like, take away my rights. I want to try Coke with real cocaine in it. You know, get rid of those medical advances. Let's just have the milk that's not pasteurized. I want to try the danger milk just for shits and gigs. I want to, you know, have opium for a cold. I think that would be great. I don't really care about having Snapchat. that's my time. Thank you very much. That's all I had for tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Olivia Witt. Medicinal whiskey too. Don't forget that. Doctor's ordered. That's what they would do. They did that actually during. Do we still call it the Spanish flu? Is that
Influenza.
yeah? Is that what we call it? The 1918 influenza, 1919 influenza. That's when they would prescribe whiskey medicinally. And they would only prescribe like up to 5 ounces. Like that's like not enough for me, like they wouldn't give you a full bottle. But what they would do is, and this is not even funny, this is just stupid real history, is prohibition kind of rolled out state by state first. Like there were states that had prohibition entirely, and it happened around the time of the flu epidemic, or whatever you want to call it, the influenza of post World War One. Is it racist to call it the Spanish flu? I'm just trying to get to that point. Is it okay?
I think you're fine.
Okay, so the Spanish flu epidemic, half the states were dry in general, and they would confiscate bootleg whiskey and then give it to hospitals. They would literally do that, and then you would go to the hospital and get that for your treatment for the flu. And they said like over 50% of doctors thought that treatment was effective. So that's how that started. And then apparently people were so bored being quarantined at home without the internet and TV that they just banned alcohol altogether right after that, because people were very bad handling their alcohol during the last epidemic. So please, people, be responsible. Let's not get this all banned. Let's not let them take away the weed as well. I know our next comic is a big fan of legal weed, legal fun. Andrew Shanklin.
Yeah. Did somebody say picture of repressed sexuality, folks? Good joke for everyone in Chicago who knows who I am. All right. Thank you. Hello. Am I sounding like a robot? That's been an issue.
You're doing okay.
Great. My parents, they had me when they were very young. My mom was 25. My dad was 27, which means I got to hang out with my great-grandparents. You guys do that ever? Hang out with your great-grandparents? Let me tell you, not the best when you're 3 years old. My mom would always be like, "Oh, you're so rude. You're so rude." It's like, we have nothing to talk about. It's like, you're just making me sit with 80-year-olds. We have nothing in common. It's like, I do feel bad about it though, because my grandparents, they were Polish steel mill workers. They were good union workers. And I would love nothing more than to talk to them now. They'd be like, "Oh, Andrew, look at this. This is the bat I used to break all the scabs kneecaps in the strike of '87. Be like, "Great, love that. Want more of that, don't I?" My mom would be like, "Oh, it seemed like you didn't enjoy yourself." It's like, yeah, I'm a boy. I want to play my Game Boy, not learn about the past. All right. Well, we hated that. That's fine. I think I made it worse by writing it instead of riffing it. Because boy, did it work yesterday. I don't do cocaine, but I like hanging out with people that do cocaine. I like hanging out with people that do cocaine because that's the only time anyone wants to have like a real conversation with me about religion. I'm like, "Do you believe in God?" And they're like, "Do I believe in God? I am God." It's fun to hang out with people on drugs. Let's see here. My dreams are very vivid. I've been having very vivid dreams, so I'm afraid. I don't do drugs, but I'm very afraid of the idea of doing anything like ayahuasca, because so last night I had a dream that I was playing ping pong with Jim Carrey in The Mask. It's like, maybe psychedelics aren't for me. Maybe we don't need to stimulate my mind anymore. All right. Sorry, I'm more enlightened than the rest of you. Somebody stop me. All right. My first crush lasted for 7 years. 7 years, my first crush, 7 years. We never dated. I told her that I liked her 4 years in, and she said, "I think we should be friends." And I said, "Okay, 3 more years of this." Having a crush that lasts that long, that's like if the Bulls were playing the Lakers and it went into triple overtime, except the Lakers were asleep in LA. And the Bulls didn't score any baskets. That's what that's like. All right. Good analogy, I guess. I want to make a sequel to The Terminal, the film The Terminal. I want to make a sequel to The Terminal, but it's about a guy that just lives in a Chili's. That's the whole thing. A guy that lives in a Chili's, because let me tell you, boy, would I love that. I want to live in a Chili's. Okay. That's just a premise, I suppose. I love youth sports. I like youth sports. I like soccer. I like youth soccer the best because it's good to just see all those little kids be confused. No one tells them the rules. They just kind of run around for a while. When I was a kid and I found out about professional soccer, I'd be like, how do these guys stay so thin when the only things they're getting paid in are orange slices and Capri Suns? You know what I'm saying, folks? I grew up around a lot of women. I had a lot of women in my life, and they're surprised to find out that I'm insecure about my body. They're surprised to find out I'm insecure in my body. It turns out that having a lot of 50-year-old women tell you they wish they looked like you when you're 13 is not what you want if you're a guy. Not ideal. So many women just like, I wish I had your body. It's like, okay, I'm sick. When I graduated high school, they gave us stoles, and the stoles were like they were color based on your GPA. Okay, so like if you had a high GPA, you had a white stole. If you had a pretty high GPA, you had a gold stole. If you had a fine GPA, you had a red stole. And funny enough, reversed, that was just how sexually active you were. You know, white, pure mind and pure body. Okay. Well, fine. I wish I had done better. Have a great evening, everyone. I'll see you next week.
Woo! Andrew Shanklin. You don't get the excuse of robot voice this week. No, it was perfect. We heard every word. I'm just kidding. I love it. Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you, Andrew. That's good stuff. I like it. That guy teaches children, I hear. That's what I've heard. So so that is they are our future. They are precious. Please take care of them. I'm just kidding. Where's our next comic? Where's Melissa at? I'm trying to look. I don't see Melissa. Oh, there you go. Oh, you're right. You're the first comic. I scrolled right past you. Who's our next comic? Melissa McGilligutty.
Hey, awesome. Thank you. So yeah, so during the day I work in an office. Thank you. Yeah. And I have been working from home during the pandemic. Turns out being an auditor is not essential, so I've been working from home. And the best part about working from home is literally everything. I mean, I am out here living my best life. I've got my daytime pajamas for all my work meetings, and I've got my nighttime pajamas for nighttime. So I'm loving it. And I'm always just constantly amazed at the new little additional fun ways that I fall in love with working from home. So my newest discovery is that I love how in Zoom meetings, you can see everybody's name in the Zoom meeting. Because I tell you what, Derek, you have been hallway guy to me for the past 3 years. I mean, sure, we pass by each other every day and we say hi. And I know that your wife makes lasagna on Tuesdays and that your dad just had that weird eye surgery. But I seriously did not remember your name. But now I never have to. I never have to remember anybody's name because we're never going back to the office. The pandemic's never going to end. Welcome to our new lives. I will say, though, that this backfired on me the other day when one of my coworkers came onto the Zoom meeting and their name just said V. Martin. And so I was just over here playing Russian roulette every time I address V. Martin. I'm like picking a different name. I was like, thank you, Vanessa. Great point. Okay, I'm going to just kick it over to Virginia, and Venus is gonna close it out for us today. I'm sorry, I don't remember your fucking name. So that's Zoom meetings. Okay, so there's this website. I have this piece of tape here to make it look like I'm not looking at my notes. Now you guys know all my secrets. So there's this website that you can go to where you can see all of the assumptions that Google makes about you based on your search history, right? And so they collect all of this data, and that's how you get personalized ads pushed to you. So I was curious about what they had collected about me. And this is something everybody can check this out. It's just part of your Google account. And so when you log on, it just lists a bunch of different things about you, like how old you are and what your interests are. And so the top 3 things that it said about me was that I was 55 to 64 years old. And then it just said cats and Walmart. And I was like, I never shop at Walmart. Like, how is Walmart the top thing you had on me? Like, I always thought I was more of like a Target girl, but I guess I'm giving off some Walmart vibes. The 55 to 64-year-old thing actually does make sense just based on the bulk iced tea and multivitamins that I purchase online. So that one checks out. And obviously, look at me, I'm definitely a crazy cat lady. So really just the Walmart thing that's a little questionable. That's gonna do it for me. Thanks, Mark, for having me. Fun mic. I hope you guys all enjoy the rest of the night.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa McGillicuddy. Everyone, Google's great. Google, whatever Melissa just said, Google's not stealing your data. They wouldn't do that. Fun Simulation's a huge fan of them. Fun Simulation accidentally joined the Zoom call with them earlier this week. That's who I was trying to talk to. Our next meeting coming up. Please welcome, oh my God, from Portland, Dan Wienko.
Bumblebees. Hey, Mark, what's going on, man? It's good to see you. Geez, I feel like I made a decision earlier that it would be a bad idea to talk to people, including my children, but let's go through with it and see how we do. You guys are talking a lot about cocaine. I feel like it's like if we were playing pick the squares, like which comic mentioned cocaine, I feel like I'd have like over a 65% chance of landing one. Hey, in case you don't know this, if you want to talk about cocaine and you're around children, just call it coping. And coping is the new code word in this house. Just so you know, but I don't do it. And you know what? I'm tired of comics like luring me in and then I present myself to be vulnerable and they're like, it's just a bit, dude. I'm like, oh yeah, no, I know. It's cool. I'm trying to, I know. I was joking too, no, I'm professional. I am 100% professional. I'm not one of those comics that has anything against Zoom comedy. Some comics really have a problem with Zoom comedy. It's like they almost treat it like you're crossing the picketing line, during the writer's strike. Like they're so upset about it. And you can tell I take this completely seriously and I just like to share. And I like Zoom comedy because I can look everyone right in the eye. So that's fun. And, or you can just look at myself. Anyway, let's talk about some bad decisions. You guys let's do that. There's a new thing I learned. All this time off and not with a regular schedule, edibles to me have turned into, well, let's just say I take an edible and then I forget about an appointment that I have. Now it's a surprise appointment and now I'm double booked and I have edibles and therapy and I can't remember what we talk about, but it's okay. I got another bad decision, bad idea. I won't cut my toenails, right? And then for whatever reason, I decide that after I got a really solid buzz going, before I go to bed, I'm just going to cut my toenails completely drunk. And I'm not flexible. And I throw the toenail clipper like around a toe that I can't see. I hope for the best, like it's a grappling hook that just landed on a ledge. And then you just cut it and then you cut off half your toe and you're limping and they're like, why are you limping? It's because I cut my toenails drunk. So it's fine. I was hoping for a good connection. Let's see. Oh, in my last minute. Oh, I got one. Oh, here, let's turn this up. Oh, I was doing a drive-in mic recently and I played this game. I was going to do some crowd work. And all the cars face you. And I was like, look, what I need you to do, I need everybody to put your car in drive, put your foot on the brake. No, put your foot on the gas. And every time you're not laughing, hit the gas pedal. So if you're not laughing, you have to hit the gas pedal. And it was like a suicide mission, but nobody would do it. I was gonna make them shotgun beers before that. Hey, my last thing. Oh, I look like I'm gonna sell you cocaine and then bust you for it. That's it. All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Mark. It's great to see you. You guys are all great. I love this room. It's great. Thank you for having me.
Can we ain't go? Oh man, you're gonna get driving mics canceled. You don't need that. You don't need that. I would like to see somebody. Yeah, so I don't know.
Somebody run me over. I know.
Yeah, I would like to see somebody command a crowd of vehicles to just crash into the stage and run them over. I kind of would like to see that. That would go viral. I assume you'd probably you would get booked after that. You would be hosting SNL someday. I assume. Or nice of you to come here. Please welcome Jonathan Flanagan.
Thank you. I've been worried. I've been doing a lot of the Zoom shows and Zoom mics, and it's making me worried about when live shows come back. Like I'm gonna be nervous about performing live again. Am I gonna be able to remember my jokes while I'm wearing pants? I don't know. It's gonna be a question. It's gonna be different, you know. Like I can't. If I see a cute girl in the audience at a live show, I can't just instantly go look up Patty's Instagram. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to do that. It's gonna be weird, you know. At a live show, everybody has their cameras on, and I don't know. I think there's some people I'd rather not see their faces during my set. You know, like I don't need to see them yawning or sleeping or and you know what they say? They say on a Zoom show if their camera's not on, you know, people always say, oh, they're having sex probably, which I hope not. They better not be. Like Adam better not be having sex. Not because I care if someone has sex while I'm in the room. Like I kind of encourage that. That's not a big deal. It's because I want to be so funny you can't fuck to me. You know, like have you ever tried going down on somebody and then having to laugh? It's impossible. How come on heist films like, you know, you like Ocean's 11, Fast and the Furious, all these heist films, when they always have to assemble the team, right? And everybody's ready to go. It's been whoever, like, there's not one voicemail, there's not one, hey, call me back ASAP. You know, we got to go kidnap this nuclear bomb. Like everyone's just ready to go. It's just unrealistic to me. That's the only part that's unrealistic about Fast and the Furious to me, is that Dom's not like, hey dude, can you call me back? Seriously, like we need you to hack into the cameras of the entire city. Otherwise we're fucked, you know? I don't know. If a porn actor gets a promotion, do they tell their friends, oh, I got a new position at work? Is that what they say? Super's cowgirl. That's what it is. I kind of empathize with cops, just because, like, as a comic, as a comedian, I empathize with cops because, like, I know how it is. I don't want anyone recording me when I'm working either. You know. The difference is though, like, if I know if I might get recorded, I want it to be like my best material. Like that's the only difference. Like, do you think they would have some semblance of maybe I should do my A work just in case it's caught on tape? But they don't seem to care that much. I'm half Irish and half Mexican, and on my Mexican side of the family, I'm the 7th generation Californian. Like my grandma, great grandma, my mom, like going down that line, I'm the 7th generation Californian. So it's a we didn't cross the border crossed us situation with my family. And that, if you know your history, California became a state in 1836. That wasn't that long ago. That was like 3.5 grandmas ago, you know? So that means one day, like in 1836, my great grandma woke up and she's like, oh shit, hey guys, we're in America now. We're California. We're in America. Quit seasoning the corn. We're in America, you know? Hey, George, Jorge, spell your name with a G. We're in America now, you know? Hey, everybody, quit being so misogynistic and racist. We're in America. Actually, they do that here too. You keep doing that. They do that here. They wanted California because it had gold. They wanted Texas had oil. Arizona, New Mexico had silver. So they were all the valuable parts of Mexico, but then they kept all the names of everything, right? That's why I'm not in the Angels, California right now, you know? They didn't even try with New Mexico. Like, we're going to call ours Mexico. It's like, yeah, but that's what we call ours. Fine. Better Mexico, New Mexico, whatever. Just get out, you know? All right. That's all for me. Thank you.
Jonathan Flanagan. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah. Comics get to work. You get to work out your A material on these Zoom mics. But police officers, they just have to practice on their own family, I guess. That's how they develop. I'll just stop. That's a really stupid joke. Our next comedian will not tell any stupid jokes.
Oh no.
I've seen them. They're all great. Michael Harrison.
Ah, that intro gave me too much pressure. I'm now gonna have to. I'm gonna think for a second. Oh, how do you make this smaller? Can I think of a bigger word to say this with? Yeah, I want to start. I want to talk about fighting. Let's get into it. That's what I want to talk about. Fighting. I don't like fighting. Not a fan. I think it's very macho and unnecessary. You know, unless I'm winning, then it's sexy and brave. Right? Because like some fights are awkward. You know what I think the most awkward fight is? Elementary school fights. Because that's the only fight that you actually have to plan with the person you want to punch. Right? You can't do it in class. People will kick you out. So you always get heated. You're like, oh, I'm going to kick your ass. He's like, yeah, well, you're dead. He's like, bring it. Oh, it's on. Then you're like, yeah, so 3:30 near the swings? Is that good or what? Can we meet there? Because I remember I had a fight in grade 5, and it was this kid named Adam, and we chose to fight on the hill, the most visible place in the whole playground. So naturally we got caught. For some reason I was surprised, you know. Principal came out and I was like, wow, how'd you find us? He's like, oh, I looked through a window. I was like, that makes sense. So you know what my principal made me and Adam do the following day? He made us do 10 push-ups in front of every class in our whole school. Yeah, which made us so much stronger for the fight that day. Right, the whole time we were doing push-ups, I was like, is this our principal or a personal trainer? Because this guy is really good. I like that some of the laughs pop in and out. It's very fragmented. Beautiful. I don't know. I wasn't super smart. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make Mark happy. I made honor roll one year. So I was smart one year. I made honor roll in the 10th grade. And I don't know if you guys know that ceremony. They made all of us go to a gymnasium and they announced us one by one. And then they would hand us a certificate. And you know who our audience was? All the dumb kids who didn't make it. Yeah, suck on that, losers. This is who you're going to work for one day. Right here. Like, seriously, if no one knew what was going on, it looked like the bullies were holding a draft. Right, just in the bleachers, like, oh, Harrison's numbers are up this year. All right, I guess he's going to get a punch to the throat. Let's do it. You know what did actually suck about that honor roll? One of my bullies did make the honor roll. Oh, that's the worst. The worst. Smart bullies? That should be the name of a horror movie. You know what I mean? Gosh. Yeah, a bully's so smart that he knows the right angle to stuff me into a locker. Oh, that's going to be awesome. Anyways, I just saw I got a minute. Thank you guys so much for your time. My name's Michael Harrison, and catch my sketch, please. Take care.
Yeah, Michael Harrison. Give it a minute back to the room. Guys, we got a couple more comics, and then it's gonna be the fastest minute. So stick around if you already gone up or if you're just tuning in. In the meantime, our next comic, Josh Mandel.
Thank you. Thank you guys. I wouldn't be that offended if people had sex while I was having comedy. I want to be as funny. I want to be funny enough that like at least one person is like, I should unmute just at some point in my comedy career. Maybe even real life. Me and my girlfriend broke up. It's like, it was kind of hard to have a girlfriend while I was like doing open mics every night and stuff. And like, it's like, I kind of miss like the connection and stuff. But I have a dog, so that's fine. So I'm thinking like, do I just have to be like a slut with a pet? Is that is that my substitute? I don't know. Yeah, but when I had a girlfriend, I was like, it could be kind of hard to ask for like certain like things, like just date a comic. Yeah, I'm all set. It could be hard to ask for certain things during sex. It can be like a little awkward. I wish there was like a menu on the wall. You know what I mean? Like I would so much rather order a double, like a number 9 than like a double reverse back screw. You know, it's way easier. You know, let's start with a little foreplay for the table, and then, did you guys hear about the streaker during the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a genius ran onto the field and made $350,000 because he had the foresight to place a bet in Vegas that there would be a streaker. And that is like, I can't believe I didn't think of that. I cannot believe I didn't think of that. That was my one chance to get rich. You know what I mean? Like, and now I'm thinking like, I placed a bet, and if it pays off, I will be really rich. If I can clear the Grand Canyon with my pants down while holding a Razor scooter, this open mic is on me. Oh fuck, dude. The roof of my mouth just started to itch. Hate that. It's the worst. Let me see. Oh yeah. My grandma has bad hearing, and I honestly think it's for the best, because I think if she had better hearing, she would have gotten divorced. I think a faulty hearing aid was the only thing keeping her in that marriage. You know, like my my grandparents' house is like, it's kind of like a war zone. Like they argue like they'll argue over anything. It's like, and I could see it affected my dad. Like when most people growing up, they're like, their parents have teaching moments, but with my grandpa, it was really more like a yelling moment. Yeah, definitely passed that to my dad, which is like never seen someone get so upset about a light bulb. It's ridiculous. Did I have anything else to say? Oh yeah, 1 minute. Oh, thank you. Last thing I was gonna say before I get out of here is that in high school, my friend sprayed a fire extinguisher in the gymnasium and did $50,000 worth of damage. And it's like, what about a gymnasium is worth $50,000? I'm pretty sure not even the teacher is worth that much. Anyways, thank you so much. I'm Josh. Have a good night.
Yeah, Josh Mandel, thank you very much. Hey, come on back to summer camp. Your bunk's over there, man. It looks like he escaped from the fun camp running for the past, I don't know, God, 5 months. No, just kidding. Our next comedian coming up. Please welcome Chai Longo, Elongo, Gopalan.
Thank you, Mark. You want racists? Just hold your breath for another few hours, because then Black History Month is over. And then we're going to roll right into Women's Herstory Month, because that's March is. March is Women's History Month. And right now, I'm just waiting to hear from some incels who start saying, well, how come, women get their whole month? You know, they already have a month for periods and they complain. Now they're going to have a month for Women's Herstory Month. And I can just imagine something else they're going to say is, well, why do women idolize, female superheroes so much, right? I mean, you can't spell Wonder Woman without Wonder Man. All right, next. I'm actually pretty happy with myself because I just made it through the first 6 months of my job. And a year ago at this time, when I was doing these Zoom mics, I was still in the interview phase for a lot of different companies, and they all got canceled due to the bat flu. And one of the things I learned in the interviews is you never want to give an answer right away. You always want to clarify the question. You always want to ask thoughtful, probing questions. So when they ask you something, you say, well, can you define that? Can you put it into an example? And it works, but not really so much for relationships, because when my wife asks me if I'm faithful or if I've ever been cheating, I immediately clarify, oh, can you define cheating? And immediately causes me a whole lot of shit. But speaking of cheating, or speaking of wives, we are coming up on our 10-year wedding anniversary in a couple of months, and I'm extremely happy about that. And I'm sure all of you in your, thank you, I'm sure all of you in your relationships, you've heard about the love languages, right? Well, our love language is words of affirmation that are irrelevant and at the wrong time. So, for example, when we're engaging in some foreplay, I'll ask her to say something nice about me. And she'll stare up at me with her beautiful eyes and say, you're such a wonderful father to our daughter. No. Screw that, honey. I don't care what kind of a father I am. I want you to objectify me and say something about me as a manly man. She's like, "Oh, I love the way your white teeth shimmer when you use them to open up a bottle of beer." Okay, it's clunky, but at least you're trying. You're trying to compliment me. You know, I'm one of those SJWs, and I'm sure you've all heard what those are. But I'm not a warrior. No, I'm a weenie. So an SJW, a social justice weenie, is a type of person who will do the bare minimum. Like, I'll spend all day yelling, "Yeah, eat the rich," while raging against the machine. And by raging, I mean riding. And by machine, I mean a very expensive exercise bike. So I'm a little bit of a hypocrite in that way. But here's the problem that I have. Influencers are always trying to shame me to take action for things. They're always like, "Hey, if you got a problem, call up your local politician or senator's office and tell them you're against this bill." Okay, can I send them a Clubhouse invite instead? Like, do I have to call them? We know what it's like to call people. It's going to go to voicemail. But that's not the worst thing. The worst thing is if a politician actually answered when I was supposed to complain, and now they want to talk to me about an issue, and I'm going through my phone through some hastily edited Wikipedia article. "Oh, Flint water poison, racism bad, defund cops, refund second city." I don't know, man. Like, honestly, me trying to make a phone call like to a politician is like me trying to show support to a kid with cancer. Except instead of shaving my head for solidarity, I shaved my balls. My heart was in the right place. Anyway, I think Mayor Lightfoot is going to let us rent out the homeless people to use as dibs for parking pretty soon, given how bad our city is when it comes to a deficit. Mark, what do I got? 5 seconds?
Yeah.
Okay. As an Asian, I wish that I had more control over which Asians should be abused in society, given the amount of racist attacks that are happening. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jesus.
Longo. Yeah. Let's no racist attacks. Let's shoot for that. Let's try to get that down to 0. I don't know if we can. Maybe our next comic can come up with some good ideas for us on how to stop that. Gregory Matthews.
Oh boy. I don't know. Speaking of racism, I'm going to do a whole 4 minutes about CPAC. So I guess it's all racism for the next 4 minutes. But it's not me. I have a character made up. All right. So I'm going to take stupidity to the next level. This is what I'm doing right now, and you've agreed to watch me do this. This is an impression of a guy named Ricky, who was a millennial CPAC attendee going on a rant. All right, you ready for this? "Why isn't there a month for straight white men, huh? This country's falling apart. Gina Carano just got canceled for comparing conservatives to Jews during the Holocaust. R. Kelly's out here diddling kids, and Colin Kaepernick is kneeling. You know who never knelt for the national anthem? O.J. Simpson, a true American hero. Everything was better back in my day. Look, guys, I'm a millennial. I was born in 1982. The #1 college football team in 1982, do you know who it was? Penn State, led by a real leader, Joe Paterno. He never knelt for the goddamn anthem. He was a real leader. He coached football the way it was meant to be played. His assistant coaches were great. You know who the #1 singer was in the 1980s? Michael Jackson, a real singer, a real man who made real music. He never diddled anyone like R. Kelly. He did it differently. And the star of the biggest show in the 80s? The Cosby Show. Bill Cosby. Now that's a role model. MAGA. Make America great again, like the 80s. Thank you. That's Ricky, a millennial CPAC attendee going on a rant. Thank you. It gets stupider from there because it's all CPAC. I love CPAC. Donald Trump Jr. told a joke at CPAC, and he said Liz Cheney and her politics are only slightly less popular than her father is on a quail hunt. Which is a wildly stupid joke on its own, but it's about a 15-year-old incident. But it's not as stupid as it could have been. And I actually obtained some of the original versions of that joke. I was at CPAC and I traded a golden statue of Trump that I bought in Mexico for a copy of the drafts of the joke. So here they are. Liz Cheney and her politics are only slightly less popular than Ted Kennedy on a date on an island in Massachusetts. Liz Cheney and her politics are only slightly less popular than John Wilkes Booth at the theater. Topical, timely. Liz Cheney and her politics are only slightly less popular than Warren G. Harding at the Teapot Dome Naval Petroleum Reserve. A teapot dome joke. It's so good. I love CPAC. But that was a stupid joke. But there were some legit funny jokes, like my boy Ted Cruz. Everyone loves Ted Cruz, right? He said Orlando is awesome. It's not as nice as Cancun, but it's nice. Oh my God, do you get it? He took a vacation while his constituents were dying. They had no heat. Do you get it? They were freezing to death. They were dying. Little kids were dying because they didn't have heat. Oh, Ted. Oh God, just hilarious, Ted. Oh, he kills me. He kills me. So I also wrote some other jokes for CPAC. So if I ever end up doing, sorry, I'm yelling as a millennial. Sorry, I gotta be quiet. I did write some jokes for the kids are sleeping. I did write some jokes for CPAC. So if I ever end up getting booked there, I have some jokes for CPAC. These will kill at CPAC. Why did the chicken cross the road? Because he was a cluck-servative. All right, and finally, this is this joke is every CPAC's favorite joke. This is I'm getting yelled. I'm getting like the light, but just it's saying shut up. The kids are sleeping for my wife. We've also been married for 10 years. So I'll take the claps for it. All right, 5 seconds. Knock knock. I'll do it because you guys aren't going to respond. Just like my students in class. Knock knock. Who's there? Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton. Who? Snowflake libtard. That kills at CPAC. Thank you very much. I'm Greg Matthews. Follow me on TikTok at Fat Greggy.
Yeah, thank you, Greg Matthews. I thought he was telling us that he had all those jokes in case he went missing, right? Like, I remember that's Hillary's thing, not the conservatives thing. That's the deep state liberals that disappear people. Okay, I'm going to stop doing that. Our next meeting coming up. Very happy to have him from Chicago, Adam Quaslow.
All right, guys. I was prescribed Ritalin when I was a kid, and that is a great drug if you don't want to feel joy. I've always been told that if you watch Wizard of Oz while you listen to Dark Side of the Moon, they'll match up perfectly. But if you're on Ritalin, you will spend the entire time trying to match them up perfectly. And it's an appetite suppressant. That's the big side effect. And because of that, my I wouldn't be hungry until it wore off at night. So my elementary school thought I was anorexic because I didn't look like this yet. And they decided that I was anorexic because any elementary school principal can diagnose a mental illness without talking to the child first. And bringing in a licensed psychologist is just a messy extra step. It's a public school. They don't have the funding for that. So one day after lunch, the principal sat me down with a tray of food and said, "We are not leaving this table until you eat this." Because that's how you treat an eating disorder, right? You just sit them down and say, "Eat it!" He thought he could cure anorexia the same way Fear Factor cured not eating horse rectums. And because of that, because of what he put a child through, he got promoted to superintendent. I was recently remembered there was a time when I was a teenager and I was trying to it was late at night. My brother was making noise in his room and I said something like, "Why are you being so loud?" And he responded, "Why are you masturbating?" And I got defensive. But what I should have said was, "Because I'm 14. It's all I want to do. You should be glad I don't do it in public." It's what for, like, I asked you how to do laundry 2 weeks ago. Do the math. You're right. That bit's not worth it. I was a theater kid in high school, which is a fucking mistake. I didn't fit in with them, which is embarrassing because I wasn't cool enough to hang out with people who love to dance but don't have rhythm, right? And I still don't understand how theater kids know everything about musicals that they have never seen. But we one year decided to do a play where one of the characters is from the Caribbean. And we did not have any Black students in drama because their parents loved them. So we took a white girl and put her in blackface.
Oh
no! And nobody said anything.
No.
Which means either my hometown is incredibly racist, or this was the most tasteful blackface you've ever seen. Like, we are either terrible people or amazing makeup artists. Bye.
Yeah, Quaz. Thank you, Adam Quazlaw. One more time for Adam. We had a late joiner coming in right before the Fast Minute Comedy. We're going to get one more comic up. Please welcome Tristan A. Smith.
Hey, sorry to make your night 4 minutes longer. Keep it going for Mark for doing this. Or not. You don't have to clap for him, I guess, if you don't like him. So I like spy movies. I've been watching a bunch of spy movies these days. And one thing I love in every spy movie is that they'll always be the hero, and like they'll do all this like time talking about his backstory. And they'll be like, he's the best secret agent we've ever had. He's like been on like 400 missions, speaks 35 languages, can kill you in 45 different ways with like all these martial arts. And then they're like, well, we have to kill him though. And then they'll be surprised that they don't kill him. Like that's the weird thing. Like his own agency will betray him. They'll be like, well, let's send all of our guys to kill him. And they're always worse. And like, well, how can we keep losing? Like it's just such a weird thing to me of like that's every Bourne movie. I don't know. That's that bit has not worked out even in the slightest. Because I did it at one mic before this, and I didn't actually work on it. I just bullshitted. And yeah, Jesus Christ is Jason Bourne. That's what the chat's saying. That's a better tag than anything I said. What else I want to talk about? I realized like I'm attracted to hot messes. Like that's the thing that gets me going. I think my dream type of woman is like someone who would describe her relationship with alcohol as problematic. Like that's what I'm looking for her in a companion. It's just like I want I want a woman who has problems, who's gone through some trauma but isn't broken. I guess that's my dream. It's like I just want someone who does drugs but doesn't do meth. I think that's what I'm rooting for. I'm trying to hit that sweet spot of who's gone through abuse but isn't destroyed by it. I don't know what that's going to turn into. Hopefully that'll be something. The other thing I think, I don't know, I'm on social media all the time. I feel like I'm on social media a lot. Whenever I'm on social media, there seems to be like, there's always these posts, people who like went on vacation. And in the replies of any post about a vacation, like there's always all their friends are shaming them, saying like, well, how could you do that? It's a pandemic. Why would you travel during a pandemic? And I agree with that. I don't think anybody should be going anywhere during a pandemic domestically. Yeah. If you travel internationally, I think I'm okay with it. Because here's the thing. Like anybody can get COVID in America. That's all that we do here. Like that's the easiest thing on earth. America's #1 in COVID for a reason. That's not special. If you get COVID in another country, like you worked for it, all right? Like you actually earned that COVID. Like if you like anybody gets COVID in like New Zealand, like imagine the amount of effort that really took to happen. Like you would defy it against all the odds. Like that's not a disease. That's a souvenir. You like a couple weeks ago, we had the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay, Florida. Like 25,000 people were in Tampa Bay, Florida. Imagine telling your doctor that you got COVID-19 in Tampa Bay, Florida. Like what, at the Shell gas station with everyone else? That's how you did it? And you were in Tampa Bay because you had to see Tom Brady do a thing he's already done 6 times already. If there was any time on earth where you could have stayed at home, that was the exact time to do it. I don't know. That's just such an embarrassing thing to have happen to you. And the last thing I want to say, I don't know if you guys know QAnon, if you're familiar with QAnon. It's a group of conspiracy theorists who believe that there is a group of child molesters who are like an elite group of child molesters based in Hollywood. And those same people love church. I don't know if you've noticed, but if you're looking for an elite group of child molesters, have you tried the church? I think it's a decent place to start. I'm just saying, I think that call's coming from inside the house. That's all I got to say. I don't know. That's it for me. Let's go for the fastest minute.
Yeah, thank you, Tristan A. Smith. Glad to have you pop in. We're gonna do this, guys. If you haven't done it before, I'm just gonna go through the list and I'm gonna say your name and you get a minute, and then after a minute, I'm not gonna do anything except go to the next comic. So it could seem rude. I'm not being rude, but I'm gonna start with our first comic. Penny Mansbach, go.
I was reading this clickbaity article and they're like, oh, this is when scientists say you're not going to have to wear the mask. And I thought, well, hopefully never, because I love them so much. I look so beautiful. Like pre-COVID, a lot of comics would just make fun of me all the time for being ugly, but now I have to cover my face so I win. It's great. And nobody makes fun of me for being ugly on Zoom comedy. That's because I look better pixelated. But one person, he did say I'd be more attractive if I got LASIK surgery. No, fuck him, because I don't want to shoot lasers into my eyes. I want to shoot lasers out of my eyes. Where's that surgery? Because I want that one. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at Syracuse, but he's not on video yet, so I'm gonna skip to Ron Irvin for now. Ron, go.
Oh no. So yeah, there's we've been doing a lot of comedy tours in New York, but it's all the like these little tent things that they build on the side of the curb to the venue. So you're just like you're doing comedy to the street, and I'm starting to feel bad for the street, to be completely honest. Like and there'll be like apartments like right there. There's somebody's living right there, and if I lived right there, I would rather have a screaming homeless person than comedy. Are you kidding me? You get home from the hardest day of work ever, you sit down to relax, and you have to hear a 32-year-old barista scream about Malcolm X eating pussy or something like that. I don't know. All right, thank you.
Yeah, Ron. I hope it's an essential worker on the front lines coming home after a 14-hour shift, and then there's open mic comedy. That's what I really hope. They deserve that, right? Sophia Smarndescu, go.
Okay, guys, I'm afraid of the coronavirus. The coronavirus has got me wearing a face mask, face shield, and a butt plug. So, all right. Guys, I was thinking about this guy from my calculus class today. This guy from my calculus class in high school. He was such a dork. His name was Alex Canfield. And one day he was screaming at my other classmate and was like, your parents don't love you. Okay, you live in a basement. I have a walk-in closet. All right, I have a walk-in closet. I've never met anyone whose love language is just ample storage. So that was cool. All right. I just wanted to talk about Alex Canfield. I had nothing planned for that. So wait, do I have more time? I have like 10 seconds.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Okay. You guys, my mom all right. I think I used it.
You're not legally obligated to fill it.
Go.
They say the Incas were an extremely advanced civilization, but I think that might be bullshit because they were conquered by Spain, and the Spanish are not Germans. Like if the Spanish Navy landed in Peru and saw helicopters coming down from the mountains, they'd be like, fuck this, dude. Let's go back to the boat. So that's something I have to say. Also, I'm going to remember the pandemic as the time I realized my friends lied about being empaths, because the definition of an empath is someone who can put themselves in another person's position. And everybody who's saying like, oh, I'm an empath, and also saying the rich should pay more in taxes or Jeff Bezos should donate more money, I don't have to be a billionaire to know that it's awesome. So if you can't see why that's awesome, then you're not an empath. I have a really good theory about the purification of race, but I think I'm out of time, so maybe next time.
Yeah, next time. Save it for next week. Dan Wienko.
Oh, hey, Mark. How's it going? You know what? People keep assuming I'm stepfather to my biological children. And I think it's just the disconnect that everybody has. But my son got back into soccer, and the coach was like, "Hey, Dan, you want to assistant coach?" I was like, "Listen, I would love to coach, but I'm so busy coaching my kids on what to say to Child Protective Services. I can't help out with the team right now. So you get it, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, where's the real father?" I'm like, "I'm the father." Anyway, these are low key like child abuse jokes that aren't, but they're also not that serious. Anyway, I'm the best father you're seeing here today, only because I've been doing it the longest, and now I have hopes. Anyway, you know what? I wish I would have stopped about 8 seconds ago. Hey, thanks a lot.
Yeah, Jonathan Flanagan, go.
My girlfriend talks in her sleep sometimes, like so much that she started a podcast in her sleep that she doesn't even know. It doesn't really bother me. One time she laughed in her sleep, and I shook her awake. Like, who the fuck you laughing at, huh? Is he funnier than me? What's going on? She's like, I told her, I was like, hey man, I wish I met you like 10 years ago. You know, when I was younger and better looking, and I got erections regularly. It's like, oh, don't worry, I'll be there for the next 10 years. It's like, yeah, but those would be like the worst 10, right? Like you missed my 30th birthday in Vegas, but you'll be there at my 40th birthday for the colonoscopy. That's not going to be any fun for anybody. Anyway, so, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah, Michael Harrison, go, 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 go.
Thanks, buddy. I like going to coffee shops to write. And I don't know if you guys are like me, but I don't trust coffee shops with too many low energy hipsters. Right? Isn't that a bad sign? Walk in, like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, is this coffee even work? I'm not gonna pay $6 for this. If I go to a coffee shop, I want to be greeted with, would you like a large? You know, that's there's no chairs, just giant hamster wheels to jump on after a sip. That's my coffee shop, you know? It's hilarious because I actually once worked at a coffee shop and someone fell asleep in one of the chairs. Oh, that's a bad look. I quickly ran up, took his cup, and wrote decaf on it. Thank you. I know the next joke will be overtime. So thank you. I'm Mike Harrison. Cheers.
Yeah, I'm looking for Chai Ilongo. Go, 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 go.
I got poisoned at brunch from Eggs Benedict Arnold. Mr. Potato Head is now potato. Last time I heard this much controversy around a potato was from Dan Quayle. People in Orlando go to Z-Pack. You better take a Z-Pack. My daughter made a cute joke the other day. She said, Daddy, what do you call a bear that went to the dentist? A molar bear. And I said, that's sweet, honey. What do you call a bear that's really happy and sad? A bipolar bear. She said, I don't get it. I said, you will at 25. Listen, next time you run into Karens and they try to harass you in public, don't just film them and yell help or fire. Just yell, oh my God, what are you doing to that poor dog? White people will burst through the wall like the Kool-Aid man and go John Wick on that Michael Vick if they think something's happening to a dog. It's hard to fake.
Gregory Matthews.
Yeah, go, 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 go.
Go. So when this past Christmas, I posted on my Facebook page that I was having a contest, and I said, who should I send a GIMP mask to? And one of the people who kept coming up was Ron Irvin. So I've never met Ron in person, but I did mail him a GIMP mask. Ron, did you ever get the GIMP mask?
Yeah, you did. Did you not see the video I made with it?
I haven't seen the video. Can you send me a link? I would love to see.
Yeah. I made like a TikTok with it.
Oh, Jesus, send that to me, please.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So here's a joke. Here's a joke for you then about this. I mean, the economy's just a mess right now. It's just really difficult for people in the service industry, especially the sexual services industry, especially sexually submissive males dressed in black leather suits. What I'm trying to say is, it's hard out here for a GIMP.
I didn't.
Yeah.
That's it.
Adam Kozlow, go, go, go.
All right. We've all been in relationships where we saw that moment, we knew it was doomed, right? For me, I love horror movies, which means I also love shitty, low-budget horror movies. Like, there's this one I love called The Ginger Dead Man, about a serial killer's ashes getting mixed in with some gingerbread spices, and he haunts a cookie that gets baked with it. And I was dating a girl, and for my birthday, she actually bought me a DVD of The Ginger Dead Man. And I said, let's watch it together. And she said, no, I'll get scared. And I was unable to convince her that she would be able to not get scared by a movie about an evil cookie. And that was when I knew this wasn't going to work. I'll turn that into a bit. I decided that's what I was going to say 30 seconds ago. Bye.
Tristan A. Smith, go.
Go. Yeah, I was listening to music with a friend on Friday, and it was an old school hip hop song. And like, my friend is not black. You need to know that for the joke. And it's an old school hip hop song. And I go, oh, hey, I kind of recognize this, but what's the name of the song? I can't really remember. And my friend goes, well, I should take your black card for that. Yeah, you can. If you don't know the song, I should take your black card. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're working for. That's the whole thing that we've been fighting for, is that like, being black doesn't define the things that happen in your life. Yeah, it's like, take the black card. That's what I've always wanted from this whole experience. It's not, do you not get this? Yeah, like, honestly, like, here's the thing. We can have equality one of two ways. Either you can lift black people up to your level, or we'll drag you down to ours. But we're gonna fucking just buy cards changing hands. That's all I care about. That's it for me. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you, Tristan and Smith. Adam, what happened to you over there? Your quality of video went down like at least 80% from when you did your first set. Just wanted to point that out. It was nope, he's muted.
I switched from my phone to my laptop, and probably if I get rid of the background, it'll probably look a lot better.
Nah,
but yeah,
Ron, go put on that GIMP mask real quick.
Oh, where is it? I found it.
It's probably you just moved. It's probably buried under all your stuff.
Ron hasn't even unpacked in his 30 square foot apartment.
Yeah,
it's great. Well, thank you all for coming out this week. Bring your TikTok videos and sketches and GIMP mask and switch off between laptops and cell phones. It's all good. People are raising hands. What is Chilango's going nuts over there? Jonathan Flanagan's clapping or slapping me. I'm not exactly sure. That's fine.